The resurrection. Floor. The drive to West Virginia was long and filled with the oppressive weight of foreboding, but Lena couldn't shake the feeling that they were getting closer to something far beyond their comprehension. The sigil, the architect, and the patterns they had uncovered, everything had led them here, to the heart of the mystery. The old church loomed before them, a crumbling edifice wrapped in the ivy of age and neglect. Its stone walls seemed to pulse with an unseen energy, the very air thick with tension. The map had pointed them to this place, the center of the sigil, where everything was meant to converge. The town surrounding the church was desolate, with only a handful of abandoned buildings dotting the landscape. There was an eerie silence in the air, as if the land itself had been waiting for them. Devon seemed uneasy, glancing around as they approached the church's heavy, iron-wrought doors. "It doesn't feel right," he muttered, his voice low. Lena felt it too, the sense that they were no longer in the realm of the known, but on the edge of something terrifying, something that might never let them return. Inside, the church was cold and dark, its once beautiful stained glass windows shattered and covered with years of dust. The pews had long since been abandoned, and the air smelled of decay. But it was the stone floor that caught their attention. Beneath the altar, a trapdoor had been uncovered, half hidden by debris and age. Lena's heart raced as she knelt to inspect it. The door had been there for centuries, hidden from view until now. A groaning sound escaped from the hinges as they pried it open, revealing a narrow staircase leading downward into darkness. "We don't know what's down there," Devon warned, the edge of fear in his voice. Lena didn't answer. She simply nodded and led the way, the weight of her determination pushing her forward. They descended into the gloom, each step an echo in the silence that surrounded them. The air grew colder with each passing moment, and the walls seemed to close in. It felt as if the very earth beneath them was alive, pressing against them, suffocating them with ancient dread. At the bottom of the stairs, they found themselves in a vast chamber, larger than they could have imagined. The walls were lined with rough-hewn stone, and the ceiling, though high, felt as though it were pressing down on them. But what took their breath away was the altar in the center of the room. Covered in strange symbols, the altar had been clearly constructed, with the same granite as the Asylums. It was the architect's mark. But it wasn't the altar that struck fear into their hearts. It was what lay behind it. A wall of stone stood tall, but it was no ordinary wall. There, embedded within the stone, was a doorway, its outline faintly glowing with a pale, sickly light. As they stepped closer, Lena's pulse quickened. The door was sealed, but the faint hum of something alive pulsed through it. Devon reached out, his fingers trembling, and the moment he touched the stone, a shudder ran through the entire chamber. A low guttural noise emanated from the walls, and the door slowly shifted. The doorway opened with an unnatural creak, revealing a hidden room that was nothing short of a nightmare. Inside, rows upon rows of metal tables stood under harsh, flickering lights. They were covered in strange machinery, and at the far end of the room, something moved, but it wasn't human. Lena's heart raced as she stepped forward, the shadows of the room growing longer and more ominous with every step. There, lying upon one of the tables, was a figure, immobile, unbreathing, yet undeniably alive. It was a man. His body was preserved in a stasis, frozen in time, yet his face was eerily familiar. It was the man in the portrait of the architect, the very same figure they had seen in the old blueprints, the one who had built the Asylums. His features were sharp, almost otherworldly, but the most disturbing thing was his eyes. Even in his frozen state, they seemed to be staring at Lena, as though they knew her. "What is this?" Devon whispered, horrified. Lena could barely breathe. This is him. The architect. He's still here, but not dead, not alive, something else. The air in the chamber felt thick, as though the very essence of the room was alive, watching them. "Oh, my man, your wedding." As they stood there, a loud crack echoed from the walls, and the stasis chamber began to shift. The man on the table stirred, slowly, methodically, his eyes flickering open. Then his lips parted. "He's coming," the figure said, his voice low and haunting. "He's building again. The cycle is complete." Lena felt the floor beneath her tremble as the words settled over her like a heavy cloak. It wasn't just the architect who had been trapped in this place. It was the whole design. The asylums, the screams, the suffering. The architect's work had never stopped, and now it was waking,